Because when he makes those suggestions, he is, in a sense, misleading the population here.
Speak your mind. Defend your country. Call in. Numbers to call: 869-669-7312. That's 869-669-7312 or 917-460-2187. That's 917-460-2187. On target here on 2020 Vision Radio every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. On target. Be a part of it. On target.
So I'm your host, Kelvin Daly, and I thank you for joining us once again.
Join the conversation.
I looked at it on Facebook and I read the speech and I'm trying to find out what is the commitment to renal failure in Nevis, and I'm yet to find it.
Be a part of the debate.
What he needs to do is to allow the people to do their work in accordance with the relevant legislation, and he must not overreach. Because when he makes those suggestions, he is, in a sense, misleading the population here.
Speak your mind. Defend your country. Call in. Numbers to call: 869-669-7312. That's 869-669-7312 or 917-460-2187. That's 917-460-2187. On target here on 2020 Vision Radio every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. On target. Be a part of it.
Let us put our hands together for Pupa Wheeler.
Suicide bomber, bring it there to shout for me. I want them to roar, boy, roar for me.
Anything you want, you go get, boy. I'm mixing up the soca with some Hindi and some rumba,
chutney and lavandera.
I did not necessary,
boy. Pisca lips a mercenary.
Bring it there to shout for me.
I wanted to roar, boy, roar for me. Maintain your impulso, total zombie and beater. Take it away.
Football fans decreasing.
Boy, by the numbers they keep dropping.
Nobody don't shout.
Shout no more. Like they used to shout before.
Boy, disgruntled fans they crumbling. About promise songs, fail on delivering. Start song and can't finish it.
In standard English, singing stupidness, nonsense.
Why don't you sing a song and again?
Tell me what happened to me fair share. When the money disappear.
Oh yeah, boy.
Stuart, if in question here.
Bringing them to shout for me.
I wanted to roar, roar for me.
I will be rocking down the complex.
Yes, if they don't throw me king, boy, I do me like the doctor, placing their compass suicide bomber.
Bringing them to shout for me.
I wanted to roar for me.
I will be mashing up the complex.
Yes, if they don't throw me king, boy, I do it like the doctor, placing their compass suicide bomber.
Boy, bringing them to shout for me.
I wanted to roar for me.
Anything you want, you go get. Boy, I'm mixing up the soca.
With some Hindi and some rumba, chutney and lavandera.
I did not necessary.
Boy, we calypso mercenary.
Bringing them to shout for me.
I wanted to roar for me. Maintain el impulso, todo zombie and Peter.
Boy,
Take it away.
I will be chartering airlines.
See bridge and see taxi. Bringing them to shout for me. I want them to roar for me. You don't know.
You got to spend big money.
If you wanna win monarchy,
I go got the diaspora.
420 in my corner. Boy, share the life, boy.
Press like, subscribe, sharing.
All here the diaspora's king.
Your king go be knocking down your airport.
Knock it down, rock it down,
Hospital walls.
training Geothermal.
Let the Jewish people sing the song. These Hebrew boys don't understand. Begging them to shout for me. I want them to roar for me. I'll be rocking down the complex.
Yes, if they don't grow me king, do it like the doctor, president, compass, suicide, bomber.
Bringing them to shout for me.
I want them to roar for me.
Anything you want, you go get.
Yes,
I'm mixing up the soca
with some Hindi
and some rumba.
chutney and lavandera.
I need no necessary. Please calypso mercenary. Boy, bringing them to shout for me.
I want them to roar for me. Mantener el impulso, todo zombie and vida.
Keep the momentum. Everybody is welcome. Thank you. Papa Wheeler.
Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of On Target. And as usual, on a Saturday afternoon, I'm your host, Kelvin Daly, and in studio with me, the man himself, the mayor of Hamilton Village, Tulu Weeks, with his nice haircut, shiny for Easter. Yeah, I guess he's looking spiffy. Let me say good afternoon to you if you're on FM Dial, YouTube, Twitch, and of course on the Facebook feed. Happy Easter to all of you. I hope you had a wonderful time. It's almost at an end. We have until Monday to get the last bit of celebration in. But first, let me say welcome to all those who made podium today, especially. First on top, Rhonda Brown, number 1. Number 2, Kitchen King, all the way over there in Oklahoma. And then my buddy there, he came on me this afternoon, just this morning. Patty, the best dressed man on Nevis, Fleming is in the house. Good afternoon, Patty. Burl Jones is in the house, and so is Oral Joseph. Oral, I hope you're doing well. Over there in Bath Village, Muchacha, Iona Door Muchacha is in the house, and so is Drexel Barton. I hope you had a wonderful time on your trip, Drexel. You got back safe, so nobody threw you over the board, so I'm glad for that. And down there on St. Kitts, my number 1 fan, of course, Daltria Penny is in the house. And over there in St. Thomas is moving up a bit from last week. I think she is afraid I come visit her, Cecile Hobson moved up quite a bit.
I saw her recently.
Recently. Isn't she gorgeous?
Why?
Norma Jean down there in St. Martin, how are you? And of course, Marcella Barbecue Jones, BQ Jones down there in St. Thomas. Out of Newcastle, of course, over there in St. James. Gigi Williams Skeet, also out of St. James, but living in Texas. And of course, Gemini Nisbet, also out of St. James, but living in Canada. What's going on with all the St. James people? Beautiful people, but
This is
they're not here.
This is a weekend. This is the weekend.
Tanya Powell, by way of Brown Hill, but living in Texas. My goodness. And of course, Sharon Stapleton, by way of Brown Hill, living in Boston. Oh, man. Paul Pemberton and Adele, by way of Bath, living in, I think, Chicago, she lives. Somewhere, I think Chicago she lives. And who else do we have? I think, let me check my board to see who else would have signed on so far. Down there in, let me see here and pull up my screen. Muriel Brown. Robin Latham is in the house, and she's wishing everyone a joyous Easter. Muriel Brown is in the house, and she's saying, good afternoon, everybody. I am here. And, of course, we have Gemini Nisbet wishing you, of course, Tulu. I think she loves you more than she loves me. Gemini Nisbet saying, tell Tulu happy Easter for me.
No, she can't. She can't love me more than she loves you. Yeah.
Gemini, how are you, my dear? I hope Canada is getting warm. You're not so cold, Hildred Davis over there in Monset Village. Good afternoon to you. Elvis Leslie never misses a class. And down there in St. Thomas, Delicious Brown is in the house. By way, of course, St. James again. I love St. James people. Jessica Lewis, by way of St. Paul's in St. Thomas.
St. Paul got in one.
Got in one, yeah. Jam Forbes, Old Hospital Road.
That's two.
That's two? Well, that's in St. Thomas,
Oh, that's St. Thomas,
yeah.
On the other side. I'll claim her.
You claim her?
Yeah.
Jam Forbes, Tulu claiming you.
Yeah, claiming her.
I love it. And Tessa Howell up there in St. John's. Always from St. John's. Yeah. Laniqua Dyer. She married a St. Paul's man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Isn't the husband Mr. Dyer? Yeah.
The father?
Yeah.
Father is Mr. Dyer?
Yeah. The father is from Montserrat. Dyer. You should know that.
That's the daddy, yeah.
Ex-fireman.
You're right, daddy.
Yeah, so she married a St. Paul's man.
No.
A Montserrat man? Oui. uh,
We make her, she's going to correct you.
well, Morris Williams, good afternoon to you, Morris. And of course, Laniqua is wishing everybody a happy Easter and good afternoon to all.
Okay.
All right. So, anything to add before we jump right in?
Jump right.
Jump right in. All right. So, today is Easter. The whole week has been Easter weekend or Easter celebrations. And so, there's a lot happening.
What's the significance of...
I have no clue. I do, but we're not going to have gospel hour here now. We got a serious business to talk about.
Anything more serious than gospel hour?
You going to church tomorrow?
Oh, sure.
Well, say a prayer for me.
You're not going?
No. I going fishing tomorrow. Can't spare it. Anyway, let me say condolences, deepest condolences to the family of Alpha Jeffers, who transitioned 2 days ago. And so to all of our kids and family, we extend our deepest sympathies.
Yes.
Especially from the folks here at the 2020 Vision Radio and in NRP family. She was a stalwarts of the NRP. And so we'll, of course, miss her interventions and she just was such a great support for all the candidates in NRP. So to our family who are left to mourn the loss of Alpha, be assured that you're not grieving alone. All right? Thank you all for that. All right. We have some announcements to make. Let me pull up the ad first. Let's play the ad, make sure we can pay our bills, and then we come back to this.
Pico, the way to go for residential, commercial, and industrial wiring, data, security, UPS, and generator installation. When you need electrical work done now, done right, done at an affordable price, contact Finney's Electrical Company. Call or WhatsApp 665-1916 or email pico_1166@yahoo.com. Pico, the way to go.
All right. There's a fishing tournament coming up. I have the ad here in my hand. Fishing tournament on Monday, and it's sponsored by, let me see here, 6th annual Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge fishing tournament over there at Sand Crab Hole at Newcastle. And if you've been there before, you know exactly where it is. You just beyond the airport, make a left, you go down by the beach. You're in Sand Crab Hole. All right, and so April 6th from 12 to 10 p.m. You got a fishing tournament there. First prize, $2,000. Second prize, $1,500. Third prize, $1,000. And the bonus prize of $500. In addition, you have entertainment by Odyssey Band out of St. James, Blackstone Family, DJ Braveheart, and a surprise artist. All right, lots of fun and games, tug of war, drinking competitions, eating competitions, Easter bunny treats, lots of prizes to be won. All right, if you want to register as a fisher, you can contact Stephen Moore at 662-7022. That is 662-7022, or Corinne Hodge, 663-7435, 663-7435, or Mr. Vaughn Sturridge at 764-4024, 764-4024. Now, in addition, mind you, that's only part of the thing. We got more. NRP always has more. All right, and so I want to let me see, make sure I get it right here. Who am I looking for? Yes, Hodge.
You're looking for more.
I'm looking for. Oh yeah. So there will be raffle prizes, and they'll be drawn at the event. And if you're not present for the drawing, you will not win. All right. If you're going to be leaving the event before the raffle is drawn, give somebody your ticket so they can collect your price for you if you trust them that much.
So if I purchase my ticket and I have to leave,
You can give it to me.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah. And if you win, I'll keep it.
That's fair. That's only between me and you.
That's all between me and you. All right. So you buy a ticket for $10. Once you get to the event, you can buy a ticket for $10. And look what you're going to win for $10. All right. One round trip ticket to Anguilla
Wow.
for $10. I would love that. I got some good friends in Anguilla. I would love to see them on a $10 ticket.
Wow.
You can win a round trip ferry ticket to St. Martin.
Wow. Still wow.
So you can go down to the French Quarter. We're going to go see Norma Jean. She lives in St. Martin. Rhonda Brown lives in St. Martin.
Yeah.
We can go see these people. I hope they want to see us.
They want to see
They
us.
want to see us.
Yeah.
Norma, we're coming down. We're winning. Me and Tulu are going to win tickets.
No,
right.
I'm not going to win ticket.
And it's 2 tickets, eh? 2 2 round trip tickets.
So
To
for
St. Martin.
2.
Yeah. All right. 3 round trip tickets to St. Kitts. We could go see Doll Penny. Doll J lives in St. Kitts. We got some good fans in St. Kitts. But you're always in St. Kitts, so you could use those tickets.
I told you last week, I heard you and Dollar say, why can you leave Dollar alone? Then I said, happen? Let me keep out the business.
Yeah, that's a smart idea. And then if you're so lucky, you can win a gift voucher from Pemberton's. Right there in Charlestown, you can win a gift voucher. You can also win. What is this?
Take it. Take it.
Good afternoon, on Target.
Afternoon. Happy Easter to you and Tulu and to everybody on the Facebook there and all the Nevis. Happy Easter.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Daily, if you go to St. Martin, you'll get lost. I'm not there. If you want the house key, then you can check my data, but I'm not in St. Martin. So,
Okay, darling. Thank you very
if I get
much.
the house key, if you want the house key, you can get the house key. You can stay there, but I won't be there.
Okay, darling. I'll take the house key.
Yeah.
Once I win, I get the house keys.
Okay.
All
Tulu,
right.
happy Easter to you. And go to church and pray for daily for me, okay?
But he need more than my prayer.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Okay, but I'm gonna be praying for him as well, because
Okay.
that's my good friend for way back then.
All right.
Okay.
Okay then,
Right.
have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, 2 weeks, a place to stay.
That's true.
Yeah. Thank you for your generosity there to Rhonda. And then we got some other prizes. Let me finish the prize list here. What is the last one? Oh, yeah. You can get a 1-day car rental. A 1-day car rental free for $10. Normally, a rental costs between $90 and $100 US per day. So you get it for $10. Two lunches at Bush Bar and Grill. 2 lunches, and you get a gift voucher for delicious goat water up by Cabo. You get 2 lunches by Esme's Sunrise Snacket right there in Butlers. You got Secrets Bar and Lounge lunch for 2. Secrets Bar and lunch for 2. That's a lot of gifts. LBW over there in Potworks, 2 breakfasts. Drift Restaurant, dinner for 2. Yachtsman Grill, dinner for 2. Runaway Grill, 1 large 2-topping pizza. What? Mount Nevis Hotel, 2-night stay. You can go on your honeymoon. What? These are fantastic gifts. Holy Beach Resort, 2-night stay in your tail. What? 2 bottles of wine and 1 Friday night music festival ticket. This is some good stuff.
I love to hear about the 2 bottles of wine.
You like 2 bottles of wine. So imagine you win 2 bottles of wine and you get a 2-night stay at Holy or Mount Nevis.
I am not going to win because I will not be participating.
So, if you want to win any of those fantastic prizes, you need to come out on Monday at the fishing tournament, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge fishing tournament, the 6th one in a row. And you can eat, if you're a boater, if you're a fisher, you can win some money. And if you're just a patron, you can buy a ticket and win a lot of different prizes.
You know, I've never been at the fishing tournament. Also, Wednesday was the first time that I attended in the primary sports at the Mundo track. And so then I have to make Monday my first attendance to the fishing tournament. Even for 5 minutes, I'll try to get there. I also heard something that is a little troubling, in that this year might be the last year it will be at that location, which is very unfortunate. But knowing Janice, if that's the last year, she will find somewhere else to go to put on that tournament.
All right. Let me say good afternoon to Simeletta, Ovaltine and Jeffers, who just clocked on there. We have Leniqua Dai is asking, where can I get tickets? You got to come to the event, baby. You have to come to the event. You got to come. Mm-hmm. It's free, of course, to enter. Absolutely free. You just walk in, bring yourself, your family, your friends, and have a blast. And who else? Piper Barry is on board, as well as Charles Gaskill is on board. And, oh yeah, we say that. Okay. All right. So Judy Cornelius Webb of Judy Cornelius Webb Estate, she just clocked on just in a few seconds ago. All right.
She had a big celebration last week.
Adele?
No, Judy Cornelius Webb.
Well, Adele had one too. Adele celebrated her anniversary, her wedding anniversary.
Okay, that's great.
I think it's about her 50th
wedding anniversary. Yeah. She's 50 years old yet?
Yeah,
she married before she was born?
Well, you remember Adele from Bart, so you got multiply by 7. Everything in Bart, you got multiply by 7.
Multiply by 7. I think I saw Judy posting that she celebrated her retirement. I've never seen a happier person who had got to retirement, and she had a blast.
Okay.
It appears.
Well, I noticed that Adele, every time she posts a picture, she's the one holding the camera and her husband standing right behind her. Mm-hmm. And I said, boy, she really got her husband right behind her.
He's supporting her 100%. I'm not going down where you're going. I'm saying that
no.
I am saying he's supporting her 100%.
No, just in case.
In everything she does.
Just in case she falls backwards. He's there to catch her.
100, that's a part of the 100%.
Yes, I mean, you see where your mind went? Your mind went really far.
No, I'm saying 100% support whatever she does. Okay? He's there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a better man than me. I don't know where you're going to rate yourself, but he's better than I am.
He's better than long than all of us.
Okay, good.
So I wish the McClendons many more happy married years together, and may you continue to be blessed, you and your family. All right, Adele. You know, one of my favorite students in sixth form at Charleston Secondary. All right, let's get going, because how come Danny's late today? Danny, you didn't have class today. Why are you late today?
Yeah, I had class today.
You had to? You doing Easter?
Yeah, exams are coming up.
Oh, that's true. That is true. That is true. All right, let's get started then.
Just to say quickly, Kel, I just want to extend condolences to
you see, if you had come early, you'd have been hearing the condolences.
No.
Go ahead.
To my good friend Elvan Yabanisbit out of Brown Hill.
Oh, that's a different person?
Yeah, he died suddenly on Monday, I think.
So you extend condolences to
him and his family, to his family.
Oh, as one.
Clover and Vern and a whole host.
Yaba,
the Walwins are his cousins, Sherian, and they're his cousins, and so he's a strong and happy supporter as well. So, and he's somebody who would tell you after every on target program, you'd call me and say, you know, I was listening and following and so on. Very a good boy.
That's a shock.
Sorry to hear his passing. So just want to express.
I did not know. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are going.
So let me remind you, on Thursday, the 9th of this month, April, the NRP will be having a town hall at the Butlers Community Center from 7 to 9 p.m. And myself will be on the panel, Dr. Hodge, of course, and all the other candidates for St. Paul's, St. Thomas's, St. James, of course. And we'll be discussing, of course, the latest developments and, of course, the history behind the Destiny. So we're inviting all to come out in your numbers. Bring a friend, bring a family, whatever it is, so we can pack the hall there at Butler's Community Center on Thursday, the 7 to 9 p.m. For those in the diaspora, it will be streamed right here on Tell Me, on 2020 Vision. During Tell Me. We will not have a Tell Me. We will be there at the event, and so that will be our Tell Me for that evening. So you can simply tune in to 2020 Vision, get the link, and we'll be streaming right from there. All right. So that's by way of notice. All right.
You would not only be telling me, you'll be telling them.
All right. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Hensley, the engineer always say that you should lean back into your seat and
pull the mic
to you so you don't have to keep
Oh,
bumping
okay.
into it.
Okay, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Good. We would have been listening to Dr. Drew's conversation recently about the Destiny and the SSZ, and he would have had occasion to have a discussion. I think it was on Monday with the 30th. Yeah, I think Monday with the 30th. And in that discussion, he would have informed that his independent oversight body, the IOB, that will be seated to review the Destiny Development Agreement that was signed by the Premier of Nevis and sent down for him to sign. He's saying that he is going to have he will have a meeting with them, and the meeting was held on Wednesday, 10 o'clock, I think, by his office or somewhere there in the conference room, and it's a 12-member committee. All right, and
Anybody different news?
I'll get into that. All right, so the 12 members, you have 2 members. We have 2 faith-based members, 2 faith-based organizations, the Christian Council and the Evangelical. They must agree on 1 member, so that's 1 member from the faith-based group. You have 1 from the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, 1 from the Bar Association, 2 from the 2 conservation societies on St. Kitts and Nevis, 1 from, of course, the Trust, National Trust on St. Kitts, and NHCS on Nevis, so 1 each. 1 member from the Nevis Hotel Association, 1 from the Rasta Association, 1 from the Trade and Labor Union, 1 from the Bankers and Financial Services Organization, 1 member from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, and 1 member from the SKN Architects and Building Association. Right, 12 members. Now, there seem to be, well, let me finish this off now. Directly from Nevis, you have 3 directly from Nevis, 3 directly from Nevis. The NHCS, of course, the who else? I lost my place here. Anyway, we got 3 directly from Nevis, 1 explicit from St. Kitts, and the other can come from either one. Okay. All right, so we are fairly well represented. Now, here's the problem. Right off the bat. Some members are refusing to sign a non-disclosure agreement. It's one of the caveats for being a member.
No.
And people are saying, no way in hell.
No.
I know for sure the bar has says no, they're not signing any non-disclosure agreements. Other individuals are saying no, they're not going to sign no secrecy agreement. They ain't a secrecy with nobody.
No.
And so there's trouble in the camp already.
Where did the suggestion come from for that?
Where's what?
The suggestion for that came from.
You're asking me that? Come on, Hensley. If the prime minister and the AG are leading the fight to have this meeting done, who do you think created the document?
Them.
Them do it.
No, it's a rhetorical question.
Okay.
Oh, it's a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, of course. It's a rhetorical question.
all right. So, yeah, I will assume the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, is a creature of the federal government that want to make sure that persons do not blab. But I don't see, though, in all honesty, if you are a member of any of these organizations
That's a given.
and your membership is asking you, well, how is it going?
Can't tell them.
You can't say. If I ask, for example, let me see here, NHCS, Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, they have a membership to report to.
Of course.
The chamber has membership to report to. The bar has membership to report to. These are grown people, responsible people. And you're trying to tell them this is so secretive that you need an NDA. This is ridiculous.
Well, you've been to the court. You know that is that's what you call a ruse. You know, when sometimes a matter is before the court and it has generated considerable public opinion, they say, oh, you can't speak to it because matters before the court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but speaking matters before the court has to do with the intricacies of the court.
Mm-hmm.
But to say, boy, this morning we had a really good presentation by the defense or by the prosecutor, that doesn't have anything to do with the case. But people use it as a means to lock out people out of any kind of discussion. That's what it intended to do.
What I find troubling is that Johnson, who is the creator of Destiny, said that he did not want us, the people of Sinkers and Nevis, to know what his plans were. The premier of Nevis, when asked, basically denied knowing anything about Destiny. And now we are having the prime minister who is going to be making the final decision on this. And he wants people to swear that they will keep that in secrecy. This is a whole cabal that we have here, imposing themselves on the will of the people and do not want us to know what is going to take place that will affect us today, tomorrow, and for the rest of our generations if this becomes a reality.
But you must ask yourself the question, though. Who are these guys working for?
That's the question.
Who are they working for? Are they working for the people, or are they working for Destiny?
But the decisions that they have made, it is clear that the Premier of Nevis is working for Destiny. It is absolutely clear.
I'm not talking about him.
But then when we go down to the Attorney General, when he passed that bill in 2025, one of his proclamations is that the developer was ready to start their development immediately. And so he would have bought into that 100%. It appears to me from the early utterances of the Prime Minister that he too had bought into it. They did not expect the level of pushback we're going to get back, the wisdom that is among the people of the community to say something is wrong here. And so the Prime Minister is playing kind of footsie. One in the bank and on the river. Oh, this is too, anything that's going to infringe the Constitution, it cannot be a reality. We know that there's a whole lot inside there that is going to offend the Constitution. So why he didn't say to the Premier, listen, this cannot come because it will infringe upon the Constitution, it is clear. And now you're going to tell me that you have a committee to look at the Destiny proposal and you want people to swear to secrecy? Something is wrong.
What is very disturbing to me, very, very disturbing, because this parallels what happened with the meetings they had over there at Palm Gardens, when the representatives of Destiny came to speak to select people, and they were asked to leave their phones and to have NDAs and not to say anything to anybody. So we are living in a society now where secrecy trumps the public knowledge. You know, what is very sad is that we would have all seen multiple times the presentations made by the Premier and his cabinet. You know, the slide presentations detailing the revenues to be generated, the GDP to be grown, the number of employment, blah 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 blah. The whole gamut. That is what comprises most of the development agreement. What are the projections? These people are supposed to look at these projections and see whether they make sense or not.
Okay.
First thing. Second thing, they're supposed to examine very, very closely all of the attending documentation regarding, do you have the lands that you say you have? Now, anybody who has been following has been seeing it back and forth between Livingston Williams, Mr. Brand, and the Premier, where Brand is saying, yes, they have all the land, they've sent down the documents with all the land. The Premier is saying, no, only that portion that they have is sent down. We don't know where that is. Then you have the issue of all the EIAs, all of the attending documents regarding buildings and how much and blah, blah, blah. Everything. This should be public information. I can't see how you're going to ask people to sign an NDA not to discuss the people, what is a safety guardrail. So the people, you have removed physical planning from the matrix. You remove all of the safety nets that each developer is supposed to subscribe to. This committee here is in effect replacing all of those safety guardrails.
Yes.
And you're asking them
to stay quiet
on it.
Tell you there is the other one, the documentation of that 220 acres that they say is untitled land. As a member of the committee, we want to know, well, hey, how you arrive at this? Did you go through the full process to ensure that you get it? And look, my fundamental position is that we must not allow the cousin of King Leopold Johnson to come here to burn up our energy. This project is foolishness. Call it that and move on. And I hope all the members of the committee can do exactly that. There comes a time when you tolerate us, and my tolerance level is high, and for all kinds of things. But I have reached the point where reasonable, rational people must conclude that this is foolishness. It is intending to drive us back into colonialism and slavery. And the people who are driving the project have no difficulty with it. So I would agree, Kel, with the members. We want to do one thing. Sign it down. Full stop.
People.
Let me read one comment here from J.T. Williams Keith, and it goes to the heart of it, really. And she writes, they are very public with offering US 100 to the people as a bribe, but hiding everything else.
Exactly.
And that is key. And we have to pin to that. The Premier of Nevis, Mark Grantley, to my mind, is on the same level of Johnson wanting this Destiny project to come.
Of course.
And it appears to me that even the Premier is ahead of Johnson, who is the creator, because we are hearing more from the Premier in relation to Destiny than Johnson himself. The Premier of Nevis is the face of Destiny. He is the mouthpiece for Destiny. He is the main promoter of Destiny. He is the one who is out there.
But have you ever thought that this NDA suggestion came from the Premier himself?
It's a possibility.
A possibility.
You know, I never thought about it, but now that you say it, it is true. The fact that he tried to hide it from the public, just like Johnson. then now it comes to the end, he still do not want the public to know what's taking place.
The biggest fear that Mark Brantley has right now is disclosure of the NDA, of the development agreement with
Disclosure.
He is deathly afraid of that information getting out to show the level at which the government has been compromised, the level at which the government has bent over backwards, forwards, sideways, every which way to make sure this project happens. Because in that document will be the level of concessions.
All the shenanigans.
Everything in there would be cataloged.
How it locks Davis into them for 100 years.
All right, so he's definitely afraid of that. So I can surmise by saying, I would bet my last dollar that one of the concessions made to Brantley by Joe was that we would have this committee in place, which you don't want to have happen because he couldn't understand
He didn't want
why
it.
Dr. Drew had it,
Yeah.
wanted it, because it delayed the process and all that. That was his argument. All right. Perhaps it's a bit of a horse trading. Okay, I would sanction or not make any big fuss about your committee. In return, I want those members sign an NDA.
So that the public never gets to know.
The public never gets to know. And the funny thing is, if this thing does not fly, if this thing doesn't fly,
Can't fly.
do you know that we may never see the NDA? You will never see the development agreement.
No,
Right.
we're not going to see it.
You know, we run the risk of never seeing it.
And
We will not see it.
perhaps the committee members can need to say, well, you know what? Let's strike down this year, since the public don't know, and since only us get a chance to see, and when we see what this looks like, I believe based on what you're saying here, when we see what this looks like, you're talking about all the compromise and all the compromising elements. I am sure, and I want to believe and say to the committee, for all of you who are self-respecting people, there comes a time when you put a stop to this kind of foolishness, and that committee has the future of the young people in St. Kitts and Nevis at its disposal, and to agree to put a project in place which returns all of the gains that we have fought for: land, self-worth, self-value. All of those are going to be compromised because,
But you see,
Kel,
but
you
you-
remember the gentleman is not interested in those.
But to the committee's credit, they've said they're not going to sign.
That is good.
I wouldn't want to preach that to them like you're preaching to them as if
Should-
they're school
should-
children.
should have- but going back to what you said, that the possibility exists that the Premier is the one who might have wanted this non-disclosure agreement. The Prime Minister, who claims that he loves Nevis and the people of Nevis, and he's interested in what is best for Nevis, should have said to the Premier, under no uncertain terms, under no condition, would I allow you to hide this from the people, not only of Nevis, but from the people of St. Kitts Nevis. So I'm not going to be in any horse trading with you on this matter. The whole thing is bad. I'm just looking at the suggestion. It is a suggestion, you know.
Sorry, Kel, I didn't know that the committee members had said they wouldn't sign.
What do you think we've been talking about all this
Yeah,
time?
No. I'm saying that they seriously.
Yes, and that's what they said it.
The last 15 minutes we're talking about NDA.
No, I know.
And this gentleman gonna
No. I mean the NDA. I hear that. But I was more thinking about what is their. That's the NDA, their position on the thing. That's why I'm really going at. Not the
We don't
NDA.
know what their position is. Only
I am
thing
simply telling them.
we are not going to keep our mouth shut. Case closed and it's done. And
Alright.
all those who said that, I commend them highly.
We gotta move on.
No, I want to know what you think about the project. I want to know what you think about the project.
They will tell us later. You're going.
You wanna know what?
No, I just simply I want to know what you think about the project. So go on.
They will tell us.
You want to know what the members think of the project?
Yeah. They will tell us in time to come.
All right. The funny thing is, to your line of question, the chamber has already put out a very strong position on it. NHCS has put out a very strong position on it. The Evangelical and Christian Association, the in betwixt and between, neither committing nor objecting. The Hotel Association, I don't know where, they have not put out a position on it. Let me see who else. The bar, definitely they're not going to be. They'll be looking at this through microscopic lenses
of the law
to make sure there are no infringements with the Constitution and sovereignty. The bankers, they look at money. I never
exactly.
I never trust a banker. Never trust a banker. ECCB, perhaps more deliberate in their judgment. Again, I'm not certain about those.
No.
The SKN Architects and Building Association, I can surmise they'll be supporting
for money,
for development, because that's what they do. But we do not know if these recommendations will be accepted by the Prime Minister, if they're binding in any way, fashion, or it's just to keep the can down the road, so to speak. All right. Now, I would have, in the same vein as Destiny, I would have reported on Monday that there was some earthworks, or should there be, there's some preparation for earthworks to be done up there at Government Road, just below the hospital,
my office is
where it was supposed to be the future home of the Ministry of Social Development. If you pass there, you'll have seen for the last few years, the last 5 years or so, huge piles of framing metals, I-beams and T-beams and all kind of beams to build this unit, and it never came to fruition. The last we heard from the Premier in December that some of those materials will be repurposed to build a new home for the Ministry of Agriculture. If you believe that, I have a bridge in London to sell you, and so contact me anytime if you want this bridge.
I want in New York.
All right. So the report basically came to me, and of course, when I went to investigate and did a video of it, the heavy lift crane was there, moving the materials out of the proposed site, and this is supposed to be the new home for a dialysis center. All right. Now, I would have ran through my estimates, the budget estimates for 2026 and 2025, making sure I didn't miss anything.
It's not there.
And so when I went to capital expenditure, there was no money allocated for a dialysis unit funded by the NIA or by anybody else. There was no proposal, no plan at all. And so I would have made, of course, my inquiries, my phone calls, blah, 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 and quickly realized that the dialysis unit is to be funded by Destiny. You heard me right. And when you hear me speak like this, you know I can back up what I'm saying. All right? The Premier had the occasion on Wednesday evening. He had it he could have mentioned it at his press conference on Monday. Nothing. He could have mentioned it on his show Wednesday evening. Nothing. He has not commented, no or anything. Quiet. All right? So the issue is this. We all know the dire need for dialysis on Nevis. That is why the gentleman to my left and the J.W. Parry government would have expended great monies to bring 2 units to Nevis to help the people of Nevis go through this very difficult part of their lives. And of course, the incoming government of CCM, Mark Brantley and Vance Amory, decided to allow those machines to simply rot away on the grounds of the Alexander Hospital. It is so outrageous that you are in an environment of healthcare, and just downstairs in a container are 2 brand new dialysis machines, and you look out your window every day from your administrative offices and you see the deterioration, and you do nothing. You hear of the cries of persons who are having to travel to St. Kitts 3 days a week for dialysis. We all know what happened when the dialysis unit went down last year on St. Kitts. We lost a young man, Kelvin
And
Fraser. Lost him. Couldn't get treatment. And we've been complaining bitterly. You cannot put a price tag on people's lives. It is simply unconscionable. We are taxpayers, and it could happen to any one of us at any time. There's a young man who I don't think he'll mind me calling his name, Ash. He lives in the States. He lives there because there's no treatment here. And he would love to come home and be among his family and friends, get up among fresh air and eating what he loves to eat. He loves mangoes and guineas and like going on the beach. But he can't do that because he lives in the States. His life depends on it. He would love to be home. So I am not in this position here talking about we don't need dialysis. I'll be foolhardy. But we cannot be beholden to anybody or any company for them to put down a unit to hold us to ransom for it. This is out and out ransom. This is bribery of the highest order because they're going to the most vulnerable of our people, persons who are suffering on a daily basis because of renal failure. How low can you get? How low can you go? You know, and it bothers me that this is allowed to be passing, this is allowed to be happening right here on Nevis. Sanctioned by the Premier of Nevis, the Minister of Health, sanctioning this. It's unconscionable. He would have received $168,000 from the Taiwanese since 2017, 2018. What did he do with that money? That money was to go to purchase units.
He said he was not given.
But come on, don't
No, I'm just telling you what he said because we are critiquing. And we do not dismiss those things. We have to let people know that it was given to him and he denied that he got it.
Wait till I finish.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. All right? The idea is simply this. He has campaigned up and down on this issue. One side, one moment he is for it, next minute he says it's too expensive. When he came into power in 2013, the first trip he made out of the Federation was to Guyana.
Yeah.
He went to Guyana, spent about 4 or 5 days in Guyana. Went to the hospital in Guyana. Said he's going to bring down experts. He's going to send up nurses to get training. Yeah. He's going to get 4 more machines to go to 2 underground. And all the while, he was just fooling people.
True.
Fooling people, because in the end, he came out and said, it's not cost effective. It's too expensive.
True.
The money he took from the Taiwanese, took it, knowing fully well he had no intention of using it to help with the renal center here on Nevis. This is what passes this government here on Nevis. This has nothing to do with NRPFCCM. This is inhumane.
Brutal.
This is brutality of the worst kind. And so when you see people like that, my God, man.
But you know, Kel, I passed there now. You said you were able to do a video. I believe it made more difficult because I see some black markings, blacking out everything now. So when you pass, you're not supposed to be able to see anything. Again, this is one of the issues where my tolerance level for this level of foolishness has run out. I was at the flat yesterday and a young man said to me, Daniel, boy, I listen to them, I hear them and say, they're putting up a dialysis center. And he said to me, Vida said about what happened to the one in 2013? And he says, just as you have just said, look, this goes beyond politics. This is taking poor people. And he says, I am one of those people. And then he goes on to say, Kel, why this country is in real trouble. He says, if anybody for the Premier gets, comes down with renal failure, he said, these ways, but the partner, you know, he has the options. He can go abroad and they can stay abroad and they would be provided. And his argument is any effort to build a new center, he wants an explanation as to what happened to the dialysis unit. And no center should be built unless there's the explanation. I say finally, Kel, this is a matter for the Integrity in Public Life Commission. This is bribery by the Destiny, and the Integrity in Public Life Commission must grow some commitment to the development of the country.
But if they didn't act when the $100 offered,
well, this is in addition to. This is in addition to. But they're coming from the same person, so make it in a package. Britain has a bribery act.
No, hold on, Tulu. Go ahead, Tulu.
It worked before when they came up with the airport development and Mr. Drahi and his involvement, and we began to critique what's going on. One of the things that Drahi did through his foundation is to offer an MRI machine to get our support, okay? He offered a machine, but he did not brought any technical persons to operate the machine. Okay, so I'm going to give you a machine, but then the premier is saying that he allowed part of the reason why he allowed the dialysis machines to rot is because there was no trained persons to operate the machine. Even though Glenville Laboratories is saying that he can do it and what's not given to them. So we know that for a fact. The premier is now looking for another way because he realized that his $30 was an insult. His $100 is an insult. So now he, I believe, sat with his handlers and they decided they're going to come up. What the people of Nevis need to ask the Premier of Nevis, what brought about this change in you? Last year, you didn't have intention to do the dialysis unit. Last year, when you were reminded that you were given
168,000 euros.
You said that nobody gave you any money for dialysis treatment and machinery. So what brought about this sudden change? Now, would you apologize to all of those families who lost members, who needed dialysis treatment and couldn't get it on the island? And in last case, you mentioned Mr. Fraser, who were unable to travel to St. Kitts because of the problem that they had when they were out and died. Would he apologize to them? So these are questions that people need to answer. And no matter what, we welcome the dialysis unit. But this should be a noose around the Premier's neck, that you do not hold the people of Nevis at a ransom, and so you punish us and punish us and punish us, and when you think it's going to benefit you, then you say you're going to lift us up. So you starve us, starve us, starve us, starve us, until when you think there's something going to benefit you, then you say, see a little piece of bread here. No, we need better than that. And the Premier keep on saying that he's smarter than everybody. Nobody could smart. So this is another part of his quest to outsmart the people of Nevis. We shouldn't allow this to slide.
The deeper questions is simply this. Is this a public-private partnership between Destiny and the NIA?
He has not said.
Is it a gift completely free of any encumbrance?
We don't know.
That the NIA will operate? Is it a private clinic that the Destiny people would be using to operate here on Nevis? These are the kind of things that we need to be aware of. You know, there's no free lunch.
Where?
There's no free lunch.
So what are they going to get in return, Ken?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
There's no free lunch.
That's what you're saying.
And the Premier needs to take some time and explain to us what's going on with this. You know, because you don't want a situation where Dr. Drew refuses to sign the Destiny agreement, and then Johnson pull up his stumps and walks away, and dashing the hope of the visions who are dying looking for health care through renal treatment.
So maybe people in Nevis need to ask, based on what you're saying, ask the question: is it cheaper to continue to go to St. Kitts, or based on what Johnson may want, is it cheaper? Because
no, I don't want to entertain whether it's cheaper. I'm not going to go down that road.
It's not.
By the time you pay out,
it's not.
No, listen. I will not get into a conversation with what is cheap. When it comes to human life and
Of course
suffering,
not.
you cannot put a value in it, right?
The premier put one on it.
We should be having we should have had a long time ago, given the increased occurrence of renal failure, we should have had a
13
center here in
years,
Ladies.
you know.
St. Bart's has a renal center,
How many people don't live?
all right? And I think we are the only region, we are the only country, we are the only island.
Without one.
Antigua and Barbuda, of course, has. Montserrat, people, I think, they used to go to Anguilla. They used to go to Antigua. I'm not certain if they have their own now. They're building a brand new hospital in Montserrat, so I'm assuming soon enough they will get that done. But
Anguilla, the same size.
given the size, given the frequency, we should have had a treatment center already. It's been 13 years.
Since it got here.
13 years. 26 years. And we are still, talking about destiny and dialysis. Let's take this call. Good afternoon, on target.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Daly, Maitulu, and Mr. Daniel.
Good afternoon.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, because I understood that the developer, Johnson, is the one who helped to write the Destiny contract. We can call it a contract. How can that be allowed? If a developer wants to do something on Nevis or any other island, can they write up what they want to do and have the government pass it? That's one question. That's one thing I have to say.
Okay.
The other thing is, if this Destiny thing is taking too long, the people don't want it, even though they have not spoken to the owners of the land yet, because I own land in the area and nobody has spoken to me. If they want to get the people's land, don't they call the people into a meeting and discuss it with them? And if it is taking too long, why don't the Destiny people go about their business? What are they waiting on for? What's so important about having it in Nevis? What are they waiting on?
Okay.
Those are my questions.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, to your first question, it's an abomination for any foreign entity
Of course.
to be writing legislation on their own behalf. That goes without saying.
It's illegal.
All right? And I think that is one of the biggest embarrassments we have faced in recent time as a federation, and the AG need to explain, because he has never said definitively that he authored it or his office authored the legislation. He has been accused of accepting the template for this law, and it is certainly, there's evidence to support the fact that the developers are the one who crafted the bill, and which is now law. In reference to your other question, it is clear that from the Premier's own utterances, they have no need or they see no benefit from meeting with landowners, since there are so much diverse groups in there, and it's a private consideration between buyer and seller. He doesn't see the use of having a meeting with landowners in the area. That is his position. Of course, the landowners see it quite differently, and they would have hoped for a meeting. But you see, when you have persons who are not in the same room, it's easy then to pick off one from the other. Imagine if you had all the landowners holding one head in one meeting, asking for the same price, asking for the same terms. They don't want that. It simply means that they prefer one-on-one, so they can tell Tulu, listen, we'll give you $10 a square foot because we gave the guy down the road 8, which is not true, right? Or you're the last one to hold out and you need to come on board. But if everybody's in the same room at the same time, talking with one voice, it's much more difficult to divide and conquer. So that is why they have not met with the most important group in this conversation, the landholders. That is why they have not done it. All right, I hope that helps. Okay, moving on. Now, in the Parliament on Tuesday, I was listening to a presentation by the Honorable Congress Maynard, the Minister of Infrastructure Works and, of course, Energy. And he had some very important information, which I have made a note of. He says basically Skelec is inviting bids for a 50 megawatt solar photovoltaic farm and in the Bastia Valley with a 30.5 megawatt battery storage facility. All right, and this is part of the government's renewable energy initiative, and they're hoping through this development, the solar farm, to supply 30% of the power needs of St. Kitts, and that by 2030, the government's 100% renewable energy goal will be met, or hopefully will be met by 2030. All right? Now, what I find very interesting is that they're talking about a system on St. Kitts where, well, they have it already actually, where if you have a solar farm or solar panels on your roof, you can actually sell excess power back to Skelec, to the grid, at 11 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, people, of course, they're glad for anything, so they'll take 11 cents. Now, on Nevis, the government is saying not only we will not buy back your power from you, we're going to charge you a maintenance fee for Nevix line to be connected to your building. So, whole different philosophy in terms of renewable energy. So, in St. Kitts, you can sell your excess power, and then you see government charging you.
For having excess power. And for moving forward in the new scheme of things.
So, nevertheless, Skelec has 15 diesel generators at the moment. And the functional capacity there is about 26 to 28 megawatts peak load. All right. Base load is about 16 megawatts compared to Nevis. Base load in Nevis is about 9. And St. Kitts is 16. All right. But the problem on St. Kitts, and you heard the Premier ranting and raving about the fact that Congress and them have to be buying generator sets or renting generator sets to keep power going, spending a bunch of money. The Premier went down bad. And we're going to get to the heart of that just now, but he was kicking up a storm. People didn't think it's bathing out a bucket. And Skelec have to be renting generator sets to put power in the line. But Skelec is actually on a knife's edge, because if one generator goes down, just like in Nevis,
trouble.
You got load shedding. They're basically at maximum right now. And it did not help that you brought online this desalination plant,
That's a lot of
which is consuming, $600,000 worth of power every month. It did not help.
It's crazy.
All right, so there's no reserve capacity on St. Kitts, and there's no reserve capacity on Nevis. At least St. Kitts is doing something.
They're heading towards the renewables.
At least St. Kitts is doing something.
So what is Nevis doing other than talking about St. Kitts?
All right, and so while the Premier is cussing the hell out of St. Kitts, Congress is working. You might not like the man personally or whatever it is, but you're seeing evidence that the man knows what he's doing.
Not like no, it's about what?
All right, and we need to move away from personality.
It's performance that matters.
Right?
Come on.
We need to judge people on what they produce.
Performance matters.
All right. If you don't like to hug people, so what? I don't care.
Performance.
I want power and I want water. And this by no means an endorsement of Mr. Congressman. I don't know him like that. We say hello to each other when we pass, but we don't sit and converse, right? No. But you have to start recognizing when people are putting out the effort.
Right. I want to endorse that point you just made, that really what is happening in our Nevis culture, and of course across the Caribbean. Tulu is a minister. I don't like him, but he fixing the road, he's bringing water, he's doing the things. That is why we said years ago, performance matters. If St. Kitts is on the edge, as you're saying, Kel, and they're making efforts towards renewable, and they're doing their best. It is something the division needs to get to terms with. Every time that we hold the Premier's feet to the fire, he begins to talk about St. Kitts and cussing St. Kitts. What about you? So Connery says this solar thing is for 30%, and by 2030 they want to be able
100%.
100%. What is Nevis saying? Because the electricity is not going to come from St. Kitts to come to Nevis. What is Nevis saying?
But we said it loudly. We allowed the wind farm at Maddens
to
disappear from the landscape.
2.2 megawatts of energy out of 10. And we were the first in the OECS to begin that renewable energy program with the connection right back to the grid. So you allow that to go down the drain, Kel. And then you instant kids cussing people. Well, somebody in Nevis isn't supposed to be able to say, hey, what about the wind farm energy? That's what is supposed to happen. Performance matters.
Custom boundaries.
Come on.
Good afternoon, on target.
Good afternoon. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you, darling. All is well?
Yeah, man. As long as God is alive, all is well.
You had any conky?
It may not look so today, but it is so.
Okay. What's on your mind?
No, a little correction.
Mm-hmm.
Congress did say, with so many companies and people going on solar, they will have to charge them.
Okay.
You said it wasn't so. It is so. Because you're talking about all of these companies. The West, what is the cannot maintain the power station?
Okay.
I said that one is correcting.
Okay.
People in St. Kitts are still suffering from
But let me ask some caller. They're currently getting 11 cents, and he's saying they're going to reverse that?
You can't even go by what they say. Because no, I mean, if they're paying Marriott, how much is that? 30 cents?
For water, yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And we paying what, 10?
Yes.
So if they could go and buy for 30, we expect them to charge us.
You got a point.
It did emphasize that, look, while we're promoting solar, it is going to be at a disadvantage for the government. Because what we will collect, I talk about these large ones, all the large companies, now have their own solar power. And if more go, who's going to pay the bill?
That's a good question.
You know, so sometimes when we think about it, look, we have heard so many things. You cannot rely on politicians, full stop, whether you are one or one of them. I mean, we got to be realistic.
Well, I'm with you.
We have heard so much things, oh, they're going to get this and they're going to get that. When they're talking about the drilling, I heard him, you know. You got all of this drilling going on. And water, people still do have water. They get water maybe 4 hours a day. And we building so and so. We need to have a development plan. I keep saying it, you know. The country have no development plan. I hear them say they have some kind of one. When you have a plan, you don't plan by constituency. You plan by what is needed and necessary for the country. But what we have around here, every politician wants to put everything in his own constituency.
Problem.
It creates a problem in terms of finance. It means that unless you are powerful in the cabinet, your constituency get left behind. You've got to change that kind of attitude.
Okay.
Right, so he intends to charge, don't let anybody fool you.
Okay.
All right,
thank you much.
Edley, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I was asking if you have any conky down there.
Anyone?
Conky. You had any conky and cassava bread for Easter?
My God is good. Let me tell you about the conky. You see, you're going to keep back the lane, you know.
Okay.
I was saying, boy, you know, I am blind and disabled. I'm well able, even the disabled, I'm blind. I am very well able.
Okay.
So I said to myself, why, I wonder how I get some service. You know, keeping the culture alive.
Yes.
And I'm here meditating, you know. let me say, Yande is my cousin. He also brings my lunch. send me bring some mashed jam and fish and so. I appreciate it because I'm diabetic. So I said, well, what about the salvage? She said, tomorrow I'm going to bring you some dumpling. He delivered. And then I was looking, I have a nice son and his wife and family. I was about to call and ask them, y'all ain't bring nothing for me. Remember and tell me, no, don't lower your dignity. And later in the evening, they delivered. She went just past to give me, these they call them cow peas. I like them, That's the correct name,
Yeah, cow peas are full of protein, yes.
Man, look, they're well cooked. So happy to my daughter-in-law, Alicia Henry.
Okay.
And my son and family.
Okay.
So, our Henry owe me some saltfish,
Yes. Okay. Remind me.
Remind you? The whole Nevis. All of your Freeman and Jeff was up there. And they paid something. Remind Hensley to send them some saltfish or what?
A conky. I'm going to remind him, Sylvie. No worry. I'm going to take care of
The amount
it.
of family you have
I
up
won't come back. I'm a persistent person. Now I'm going to get... Don't tell the politician thing on me.
All right.
No. I won't do that. I won't do that.
I hold it. Thank you, Sylvie.
All right, then God bless everybody.
Yes, all the best.
So...
no, I'm just simply saying, Kel, why don't we say to our... You listen to the Premier talking. What I didn't, but tell me one thing he said, how we going to address the Nevis problem.
Well, he addresses his Nevis problem with cussing it.
Well, that don't help.
But it's a detraction because Nevis people like to hear that they're the victims.
Yes.
Whether it's true or not, and we have been victims, we have been victimized. But I've come to the conclusion, considered view, that if you allow persons to knock you about, it's your fault.
But he was in the government for 17 years, though. 7 years, though.
Okay, let's get back on track. All right, now the wind farm, we spoke about it briefly over there at Madden's. There were 8 turbines producing 2.2, I believe, megawatts of power.
2.2.
Our base load here in Nevis is 9 megawatts. So you're talking about 20% of what we consumed was provided at lower cost by the development of the wind farm at Madden's.
Wind what?
And so over the years, it went from 8 turbines to 6 to 4 to 3 to 2 then 1 and then 0. Nothing. Everything is now dead. So we're getting 0 after having all of the talk from the Premier and every meeting going to Europe, into England, you put on the English accent. Oh, we shall be renewable energy free, 100% green. Nevis will be the greenest place on earth. Meanwhile, we're losing wind turbines. Meanwhile, the promised waste to energy plant that he said would come online, dead.
Which we left.
Where he said the solar farm down there below Madden's, no idea when that's going to happen. So he has been a total failure. Geothermal, millions and millions spent, wasting energy. If we could harness all the bullshit he talks and burn it, we have all the energy in the world. We're moving on. The poultry processing plant, I don't have any good news. I'm sorry to say, I don't have any good news.
You mean after the agricultural exhibition?
I don't have any good news on the poultry processing plant.
You told me that it started. I thought you were going to tell me now we're up to beam height or something. Let's go. I'm waiting. This sounds bad.
The Canadian contractor, but the government signed the agreement with to build the poultry processing plant, has walked away.
I run. What's the name of the company?
I don't have it to hand. The Canadian contractor, which the government said they hired on the advice of somebody named Mr. Spencer Bryan, and Mr. Spencer Bryan would have done this and Mr. Spencer Bryan would have done that, has walked away. Do you understand? Walked away from the project. Washed his hands. It gets worse. It gets worse. There are detailed electrical drawings. Very sophisticated drawing because it's a poultry processing plant. You have to be cognizant of where your outlets are because there's a lot of water, a lot of moisture. What type of outlets, the kind of wires. You know, you have to size the equipment to the kind of electrical systems you have. You have fire alarm systems, you have secure entry systems, you have, of course, power systems. You need a person who is equipped, suitably trained and equipped, who has done commercial work in this area to do the wiring, to do the electricals, to make sure nobody gets shocked, to make sure there are no surprises when the lines are running, they don't all of a sudden shut down. Do you know who this Kunumunu government brought in without no bid, no tendering, no offer? They brought in a guy who wires people's homes.
Not a domestic person.
A domestic person. What? Who does wire little homes around Nevis. They gave him the contract. An open-ended contract, by the way, to do the installation of the electrical systems. Never did a commercial property. No bid. Quietly handed it to him and said, listen, you do that because you are a party supporter. You're one of the guys who go around and bring people to the poll. You're one of the guys who make sure that things go the way we want it to go. And so they gave their party hack the contract. Now, what can go wrong?
I see.
What can go wrong?
Will go wrong.
If the Alexandria Hospital is an example, when you put unqualified people, inexperienced people in these positions to deliver, what can go wrong?
Square pegs in round holes. What can go wrong will go wrong.
Listen, my friends, this is not an NRP issue.
Never will be.
This is not even a CCM issue. This is a bad governance issue. These are poor decisions. It's as if we are not learning from the past.
No, but it's their modus operandi, Kel. That is how they do business. You say at the hospital you gave a political person a job to design the hospital, right? We are parked up after 8 years. So it is consistent with their MO, their modus operandi. That is how they do. They take public money and give it to incompetent people who are party supporters, and then the whole of Nevis is holding the bag. That is how they do it. You remember that is the same government that spent $19 million on a piece of road from Cotton Ground to Newcastle with a $10 million overdraft. $10 million excess over.
You were talking.
But there is
you were talking. Finish what you're saying.
Finish
what you're saying.
Okay. You don't want me to look left. Okay. But, and I'm saying this is consistent. You have the Mondo track not finished. You have the airport stalled. You have the hospital stalled. So you expect the same thing to be done to the poultry unit. What in Nevis tells us that when you hear the government announce that they're going to do a project, what is it that tells you that it's going to be done? I listened to the announcement, Kel, about the work starting to build the same unit. And I'm saying to myself, the reporters and all these people who are there, they are behaving as if it's only last month he said it and it start this month. forgetting that it's 3 years, this thing is over there and not done. So my fundamental position is that they will not get any better. The easiest thing for them to do is to leave the government. Until they leave, this is going to be their fault.
They are not going to leave until the people
that's how it is.
understand that this government is absolutely no good. I mean, I do not know what else they can demonstrate to us to prove to us that they are absolutely no good. The premier is, somebody say he's not clueless, he's just worthless and bad-minded and thinking about himself. Okay, and so I will say that he is clueless until we reach to the stage of the people to say to him, hi, you has not delivered, and so we're going to get rid of you. But then when you have a people that you so blindfold them, that you said to them, vote out of government because the government was doing too much, so vote them out, and you vote them out, then we are getting what we wanted. We wanted nothing, so we are getting nothing. You know, and so how much further we are going to go down the road to accept this nonsense, I do not know, but the premier's mind is one way. I am going to do what will benefit me. His mindset is on winning at all costs. And I am not going to do what is best for Nevis.
But
I'm going to do what is best for me and my party.
Let us get focused here. Let us get focused. The project to build the processing plant started 3 years ago.
But that's something.
All right? And it looks from all indications that it's not going to be finished anytime soon, based on the fact that the chief contractor has walked away from the project.
Any reason why you can't?
One of the reasons given is that I understand the Minister of Agriculture keeps asking him, the developer, for concessions. Give us a break on this, give us a break on that, you know, cut back on this, cut back on that. The guy just had enough. You know, this beggy. You have you're saying you have a industry. You want to build out an industry. And that's why I keep telling people, look at the numbers. Look at the figures and estimates. If you're serious about any industry being built out, the money will be there to back it up. Other than that, you're just making noise. And the agriculture budget does not reflect any attempt to build out any industry because the money is simply not there. All right? So when you hear that the builder, the contractor, is being harassed by the Minister of Agriculture, tell yourself that nothing is there. And they're looking to cut corners. And look, they're cutting corners in the most critical way. You're going after electricals. You want to bring in this young dude who is a party supporter, who of course money will pass back.
Around the corner.
But what do you get out of that? What do you get out of that as a country? What do you get? If we are talking about a national industry of great importance, because the Premier went to great lengths to say, in every forum, in the House of Assembly, the Minister of Agriculture has said the same thing. All of them have been towing the same line, that this is a necessary development for food security and nutrition security and all this good stuff. And then you have an occurrence like this, where the Minister of Agriculture is front and center in deciding who gets contracts, rather than competitive bidding, rather than how did the Canadian company end up with the deal, end up with the contract? You ever ask yourself how did the Canadians end up with this deal? They came here looking for work, looking to get into the affordable home business.
Canadians come Nevis looking for work.
They're not Canadians by birth, they're Canadian by business. But they traveled to the region looking for opportunities. And they were turned on to the ministry, and of course they were easily convinced that they come from Canada.
So they can.
So the local contractors didn't work crap. If that project was put out to tender, not private, call a guy and say, give me a deal. Put out to tender, the project could be completed already. It would have been completed already. But
you really believe that they wanted this project to be completed?
of course.
No, I don't believe that.
Why?
That is something that the premier would have frowned upon. These guys, they have worked out their maths. Look at when they do things.
I disagree with you.
Whenever there is an election pending, they run and start something and say, this is what we're doing. It goes back all the way back to when they built at Long Point Pier. And it's come down up all the way whenever is an election pending.
Yeah,
they're going to find something.
I have no difficulty with that. I mean, all governments do that. They try to do public projects that entice the public.
I'll tell you something. Let me pause you there.
Go ahead.
I know a leader in Simeon Daniel, one in Joseph Parry, and they did not wait until 4 years when they're in the term to try to get something done. They start out when it was, so it's not everybody. This is CCM. In Nevis, this is CCM operation.
Tulu, you're talking to a politician.
Good. When about you, me tell you what me see.
You're talking to a politician. I'm telling you, it happens.
Yes, it happens.
So don't.
But not all.
I'm not disclaiming any all. I'm just telling you it happens.
It happened.
So what the argument is about?
I do not want people to believe that it happened in a CCM, in a NRP, it happened under us.
It happens with every party.
Okay.
Well, full stop. No more argument.
Not like I saw.
I simply want to ask.
I disagree.
I ask you, the people of Nevis, one question. Which program, what is it that made people in Nevis believe that Mark could deliver a program, a project for them? Where they see anything in him, anywhere, to tell you could trust him to develop airport, seaport, Mondo track, hospital, everything. He has absolutely no record, and he has made it, and the evidence is overwhelming. Now we come to you here now. Girl, you know what it is when a man walks away from a contract? I'm sure there was something in there where he could make some money.
Let me ask a question. Do you recall any conversation? You were deputy premier, where you come in down to the close for elections and you say, boy, we got to pull the trigger on this one.
Well, of course we had to pull triggers. Of course we had to pull triggers.
But that's
that's not the modus operandi.
No, but that's the argument they're making.
Yeah,
every political party does it.
Of course.
Hear what I'm saying. And
I heard you.
Me and I disagree. CCM only gonna try to do something when there's an election.
Well, we did not qualify that.
No.
That was never my claim. Let's be clear.
That is my claim.
Well, you're talking nonsense.
No,
that is my claim.
Pull the trigger on something.
No, you have to.
Listen, I understand what you're saying.
Stop.
I gonna say me not gonna stop.
Tolo, I'll give you an example. When we were setting up the drug strip, all of us were involved. We were in cabinet. Hector was saying, boy, we have them fellas. We want to get these fellas after the road. Let's move quickly. Then we realized, we said, boy, look, time coming. Then we wanted to give the car owners and so on, and all the races and so special concessions. We wanted to include St. Kitts. And Dr. Douglas said to us, boy, you know something? I had promised them fellows in St. Kitts and them young fellows in my constituency at Restream. So I hurry up, election come.
So let me ask you a question. What were you doing prior to that, to this example that you gave me there? You were doing something. I am saying CCM now do nothing until the election comes. Case closed. That's my argument. There's nothing there to prove to me from the time they're inside here that they've been working towards any project and they say, listen, we have to fast track this one here. Then I do nothing.
Tulu, you made your point.
Case closed, you're done.
You're not done.
I'm not going to change that.
You're not done. And when you're wrong, you must admit when you're wrong.
I'm not going to change it. It's a fact.
No, your argument is simply this, that CCM, this is their modus operandi. They don't do anything right regardless of election cycle. Period. I understand that. What I'm saying, and what Danny's agreeing to, is that there are times when political parties, including NRP,
of course,
listen, the truth sometimes, people don't like to hear the truth. No. But the truth is, NRP is not above the fray.
No.
Listen.
NRP is not, we must stop this nonsense.
No, it's not nonsense, my brother. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that the NRP party does not push things when they come into the election.
But that's what you're saying.
All I'm saying to you, that CCM push nothing until when they get to the election.
We are not arguing what CCM is doing. What we're arguing is that every political party pulls the trigger on products to impress an election. That is a fact.
I understand that, and that is a fact.
So what you arguing about then what you arguing about?
I am saying
okay, stop.
NRP works. We are doing something coming up. We're pulling the trigger here. I am saying CCM not do nothing when the election comes, they pull on trigger.
Okay, you win.
Completely different thing. That's what I'm saying.
You win. Take win.
No, I don't want to take win.
Take win.
Because me no me right.
You need to go to church and repent.
He's going tomorrow. He's gonna
all right, we got to get on going here because we look at time, 1:45 already. Let me say hello to my good friend here who came to studio to say hello to us. Looking gorgeous as usual. My good friend who came to bury her uncle, but she is here to say hello to us in studio. And Dr. Clark really is with us, just to say hello. And LCQ is here. And so
you wanted to hear
that is why when she walked in, Danny was so mesmerized. He lose his train of thought. You know,
well, he's supposed to have an impact on you. If she shows up, she would be disappointed. All I'll say to her, I mean, the last 2 times she has come for funerals. We will arrange for some time for her to come. Culturama maybe, where we can have some of that brukel or something. I don't know.
Okay. All right, we're moving on. Let me make this clip. Let me play this clip. I want you to listen to this clip. Mr. Premier, you said that that you have now secured the 20 million National Bank, and I know that conversations over time has indicated that there were 2 possible other financiers, meaning the ROC Taiwan and I think Mr. Drahi. You indicated in your last town hall or press conference or something along the line that those finances were secured and ready to go, and you're just waiting for the National Bank issue to be sorted. Are those the 2 financiers that you spoke of, the ROC Taiwan and Mr. Drahi? And how much has each agreed to invest or loan the NIA to make this possible? And the second part of the question is, based on your consultant's report, the first year of operation would have netted, based on best results, 2.2 million EC dollars over a expenditure of 5 million EC dollars. It seems a bit lopsided in my view. What guarantees can you give to the Nevis people, given that largest single investment in capital works that we've ever had, $130+ million or 40 million US dollars? What guarantees can you give that this dance can lights and who are the financiers and how much are they willing to put in?
Not sure I got a question about guarantees. What guarantees can I give about what?
The question was, let me preface again, based on the consultant's report.
I heard that part.
Okay.
I'm just curious as to the dance can pay for the lights. My colleague is telling me. That's what you said.
Yes, because of the disparity between what is income and what is expenditure.
All right. Thank you very much for the question. You are correct that the financing is a tripartite financing arrangement. We were able to secure now some $7.5 million US dollars, 20 million EC dollars or thereabouts from the National Bank. That is for the purchase of the lands. Mr. Drahi's contribution is focused on the east side development. That is the runway, the lighting, the security measures there, the fuel farm, I believe, as well, and the hangar that is to be built there as well. And I believe that comes out at about 25 million US dollars. The Taiwanese funding is focused on the land side of that development, and that is the terminal, the expansion of the terminal, the new fire hall, the upgrade of the tower, a new cargo facility, of course the new island main road, because the main road has to be repositioned, and that I believe is coming out at about 19 million US dollars. We know, because the Taiwanese have communicated, that the funding has been approved, and we are just waiting for them now to send the contractual arrangements for us to sign off on that. Incidentally, on the loan from the National Bank and the Taiwanese funding, the federal government has provided the necessary support by way of guarantee to facilitate those two amounts. So the federal government has been very helpful in bringing this project forward. In terms of can the dance pay for the lights, I think you use a colloquial expression. I think I would ask it this way: can we afford not to dance? Because if we're talking about development, if we're talking about this island going forward for the next 20, 30 years, we know that the airport we have is obsolete. So it's good to have these sort of, how should I say, theoretical discussions, but can Nevis survive without an airport? Can we develop without an airport? I believe that is a far better question. So for me, yes, we want this airport to be viable. We want it to pay for itself naturally. We have resources that we would need to repay. But at the same time, I believe that we have as an island to make a determination as to the long-term development of the island of Nevis. And that long-term development of this island, bearing in mind that we're surrounded by ocean, the only way we can travel or communicate people to people, cargo, etc., is either by air or by sea. So I think that the development is imperative and that we need to do it. I see sometimes these developments as public goods. It's in a way sometimes when we invest $50 million, as I think we've done over the last 13 or so years in water, one can well make the argument that selling water at, what is it now, $13 for 1,000 gallons, the dance can never pay for the light. When we invest in roads and we spend $15, $20 million roads, and then we charge $320 or so for somebody to license their vehicle, 362, I think somebody says he works out at about $1 a day, 80-something cents a day to drive on multi-million-dollar roads. Can the dance pay for the light? Development, I think, isn't always about dollars and cents in that strict sense as one would look at it in the private sector.
All right, a lot to unpack there.
You're strong.
A lot to unpack. I'm sorry, last week I would have given you the commentary by Zook Jeffers about the fact that the federal government is balking at the agreement to sign the loan agreement from Taiwan. The engineer made a mistake when he was trying to load up these programs, these clips, and deleted that entire cart. So he's trying to rebuild it. So the intention was to play what the former minister for St. James had to say about the Taiwanese loan of 19 million US dollars. But not suffice it to say that he indicated that the federal government had received the contract from Taiwan in November of last year, and this is now going into April. We're now into April, and the federal government has yet to sign. Now, you would have heard the Premier said in that broadcast quite clearly that they had an agreement that the federal government will sign to guarantee the loan both from National Bank and the Taiwanese. What could have happened? What could have happened between last year when he made this speech in this town hall to what Zook said last week Friday on his show? And the fact that we have not received any confirmation from the Premier that the development is moving forward. All right, that's the first thing. He spent a lot of time talking about it's a public good. Sometimes the dance can't pay for the lights, but it's a public good. And did this really ridiculous comparison about road usage and water rates and all kind of things like that. They're the ones who recently, 3 years ago, increased the water rates because they say the dance was not paying for the lights. And as far as I know, the government is not subsidizing water on Nevis.
No.
We are buying water at rate. So I don't know where the argument comes in. If they're saying that road users are paying $1 a day because the licensing fee is so small, that's not the sum total of it. Because you're paying VAT on your tires, you're paying VAT on your fuel, you're paying VAT on your insurance,
on your parts,
on everything like that. So you can't just isolation and say, listen, only your road tax goes towards it. No. We are contributing to the project. All right? But to the point of the airport, this is April. This is April, people. The federal government is deliberately saying to the Premier of Nevis, hey, slow down.
Slow down. Things bad.
We ain't going to sign no agreement and we're not certain you can pay it back. Because we got difficulties too.
That would be reckless and all.
Right? And what Zook said on his show is that the government in St. Kitts is looking at GDP to debt on Nevis and saying, boy, are you really up to our eyebrows in debt? There is no revenue stream coming on board to pay for that. Matter of fact, we are now paying $3 million a month in interest payments for the loans we have already. The revenue from the airport cannot pay for the airport. So where the money going to come from? It has to come from the people if you're not going to default on your loan. Let's take this call. Good afternoon, on target.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daly.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to the public. Good afternoon to your fellow partners. I heard you play a tape there by the Premier.
Yes.
Drawing an analogy of paying $362 a year to license a vehicle. There are some vehicles that you have to pay $3,500.
There you go.
Okay. Further, you pay that per year times the amount of vehicles we have here in Nevis. What is he suggesting that he's building the road every year? Every year he building it?
He seems so.
The money is to maintain the road. It all goes to the management of the business. Because if you have roads and you're not maintaining them, you're just taking the money and doing what you feel with it, then we're running into deep waters. I'm not satisfied that the roads are being maintained the way they're supposed to be maintained. And I know people pay their taxes. If they don't, they pay more because they're going to get ticketed. Look at the Long Point Road. That's a road. That's a road that we have. And that road has been crying out for attention for the last 10 years. And, well, maybe 15 years, because the road's about 30 years old. And they say asphalt lasts, the lifespan of asphalt is about 15 years, so 10 to 15 years. So you could see how that is. I mean, the road, the base is good, but the surface is stripped. And we pay the penalty because all that does is eat your tires. I mean, sometimes when I listen to the arguments or the analogies that the Premier put forward, it's tantamount to juvenile.
Exactly.
Anyway.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Scholar. Yeah, that Long Point Road, sometimes I feel like putting my truck on my back
I gotta drive it
and walk down Long Point Road, because I love my truck. And that road shakes the hell out of my truck. It reminds me of that road when we used to have, before the NRP came in and did the road from Market Shop to the church, Anglican Church in St. James.
When you used to go Zion for your farm.
I had to go Zion every day.
For your farm.
And you skip one hole and drop in a bigger hole.
Dock.
And so Long Point is like driving on a washboard. You know them old washboard?
Yeah, of course.
I don't care how new your vehicle is, you're going to get knocked out on the road there.
Big time.
You understand? Terrible, terrible, terrible road.
In relation to the airport, right? I believe the fundamental question before the bankers, before the Taiwanese, before the federal government is this, which you have pointed out several times on this program. It is not financially viable. You're losing what, $2.3 million a year in
$3 million a year
in operational costs,
Yeah.
and you're bringing $800,000, something like that.
Yeah.
So who is going to fund something like that, knowing from the onset? And this is not a partisan person. This is an independent assessment.
This is empirical arithmetic.
Exactly.
Listen, I keep saying, and people need to understand, all right? We can predict within a very tight frame how much revenue we get, recurrent revenue we get every year. From VAT, property taxes, we can pretty much forecast, right? Pretty much spot on how much we're going to get. We have not grown the economy at all to increase that level of revenue. But what we have been doing is spending more in each budget. So you end up with what you call deficit budget. You're spending more than you're making. The Premier likes to brag that he can hold a light up and say he has never once defaulted on a payment to any bank. He likes to say he has never defaulted, which is a good record to have. Nobody wants to default to a bank.
With the bank.
Because it messes your credit up. And so what he does is make sure the banks are paid first before anything else is paid. The banks get their $3 million a month. This is what we are paying currently. $3 million a month, every month, 12 months a year. That's $36 million a year. Before anything else is paid, even before you get your pension, your social security, your whatever it is you get, your gratuity.
You need to add what percentage of that is the budget. So you pay out $36 million of
$145 million. So basically 1/4 to 1/5
Yeah.
goes right out before you see it.
Yes.
And he loves the idea. He has never once missed a payment.
A question.
Hold on there, Tulo. Give me a second. So if your objective is to make sure that the banks are paid first, and then everybody else comes after, and you now have this new burden on top of you of $140 million, which will drive your interest payments even further afield, and your revenue base is not growing, guess what's going to happen? He needs to pay the bank.
Yes.
So if he goes to $3.5 million per month, guess where the $500,000 is going to come from?
Out of agriculture.
Out of agriculture.
Out of education.
Out of healthcare.
Out of the pharmacy.
Everywhere else.
Everywhere else.
Because his intention is, I have to pay the bank before anybody else. And people, listen, this is basic. This has nothing to do with NRP. Nothing to do with CCM. This is management 101.
Economics 101.
You can't be spending more than you make. Otherwise, you can end up in a deficit. You can be paying through your nose to pay your interest rates if you can get a loan. And the government has now proven they can't even get a loan from the bank. They have to get federal guarantees.
Yes.
You imagine a whole NIA.
Can't walk in and say.
A whole NIA, a whole government can't go to National Bank and borrow $20 million.
20 million.
20 million!
Can't walk in and say, I have X and Y, so look, here am I.
I mean, I wonder if people really understand what I'm saying. You have a government that's lost all bankability. You can't walk into Bank of Nevis where you have a majority share. Let me put it in this context. The NIA has majority share in the Bank of Nevis. I think it's 23%. They can't walk in there and borrow 20 million today.
Because
you understand what I'm saying?
I hope.
So if we have an emergency, the federal government has to be the one to guarantee it.
We are looking towards them to do it.
So this
They will have to do it.
This is the fiscal cliff that he
This is the fiscal cliff we are on. If they say
This
no,
is the fiscal cliff.
this is where you see now the bad reaction of the premier. That he joined with Team Unity, and he joined with PAM, and he joined with, he basically sucked up the Drew. And you heard the broadcast? You hear what he said? Every time Nevis joined up with them, he get kicked in the backside. He said it.
He said that?
He said he's on tape saying, and I thought NG had loaded up. I wish I had it on to hear for people to hear. He said, listen, every time NRP, CCM joins up with anybody in Sink It, you're referencing Team Unity and now Labour unofficially. And he's now taking out his venom because he's getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah,
but he's now looking to blame Senkits for things that he should have been responsible for.
But he was in there for 7 years with them as a key player.
Amri did the same thing for the 10 days he was in office, blame Singers for everything. And so I'm not surprised to him. I want to go back to what Daly professed, that he's talking about the premier is paying out what he owes. And he's paying that first. The question that we, the people, need to ask ourselves is this. What are we paying for? Because if we are paying $3 million per year for loan, or interest on loans, for what? What is there to show that the premier of Nevis would have borrowed over $500 million?
I want to hear this. Hold on.
When the battle is fought and the battle is over, there is no use that some of you have for the people of Nevis. You all feel that our job is to come and rescue you. Our job is to put you in government, and when we put you in government, you kick us in our tush. Whoever said don't use any bad language on his radio station. You kick us in our nene, as them say in Grenada, in our rear. And that is what you do. You want us when you can use us, but when you no longer have use for us, you have no difficulty trying to humiliate us. And so I have said, you know what? Let me focus on my little needers. Let me focus on holding on to the seats that I have and providing the best representation that I can to the people of Nevis. And all of you who vex with Labour, vex with PAM, vex with PLP, that is our business. I have fight, I have battle. I stop clearing ground for monkey to run on. Wow. And I say it plain and straight because that's exactly how I see it. Because in my experience in this thing called politics, you only have use for Nevis when you all need help. And once the help comes, you all have no further use for the people of Nevis. And I say it because I mean it. I have lived it.
This is the leader of the opposition. Which is responsibility.
No.
That was in Parliament?
No, this was on his radio show. So I think he had a couple of drinks.
No,
he had to have a couple of drinks.
No.
Because, you know,
the shoe is squeezing.
No.
No. Hold on. Let me get you this. All right? Because let me hear
you.
This rant which he did on Wednesday is a culmination of all of the issues that Drew has now foot tricked him with. Right? This is a reflection of the fact that he realized destiny is dead.
No.
Drew ain't gonna sign it.
No.
This is a reflection that Drew took geothermal from under his foot. He gave it away, I should say. He gave it away. This is a reflection of the Taiwanese loan that Drew refused to sign for him. So he's lashing out. But the things that he was supposed to do as leader of the opposition, he could not do because he was busy begging and putting Nevis on the side burner while he, of course, collected what he wanted to collect. So the chickens have come home to roost. He now feels like he's trapped.
He's on the fiscal cliff.
He can't do nothing. And so he now say, blame Sinkit, blame Drew. It's all them fault, ain't my fault.
What happened these 7 years with you?
Right, as if he was not there.
7 years holding the balance of power.
And so now he's trying to engage the emotions of Nevis.
As usual.
To say, don't blame me, blame Sinkit. Let's take this call here. Oh, they're gone. Right? So the point now is this. This is a emotional response.
Typical.
To all of the crap that he's been getting away with, because he has not been representing Nevis.
Never did.
And now he's talking about let he go represent Nevis now. After all these years?
Afterwards.
But you're too late. Let's take this call here.
After 19 years.
Good afternoon, you're on target.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Daily, and to Tulu and Hensley.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I think one of the things. I mean, I listened to that clip, and I'm basically shocked and surprised. Eh? But here's the thing: the state that Nevis is in can only be blamed on CCM.
Of course.
It can only be blamed on a CCM government. When you're going to take up the money and waste it, and basically some of that money disappear. When there was team unity, the former prime minister was very generous. Every time he wanted, he got. But you cannot be the same. They don't have the resources now that they had when team unity was in. So if Joe is kind of clenching his fist, I mean, I understand that. But we took that money, we took millions of dollars from the federal purse.
Hundreds of millions.
And we wasted it, and you don't see, I mean, you can't really see where it is. You have the Mundo track unfinished and all them kind of things. The hospital is still there to do. And all that was already budgeted for. And you tell me, all I know, you're still working on the hospital? I mean, that should have been done a long time. Those things, those projects and stuff like that, you're going to build a police station and put a garage for the fire truck, and you can't fit the fire truck and all them kind of manner of foolishness there. And when you finish the oil repair, you have to dig it up, dig into concrete to run conduit and all them kind of things. What kind of nonsense that? So basically it's just mismanagement, and you don't know where that money is gone. So it's like, no, basically the prodigal son who took all the money and spent it all, and now you want more. The prodigal son had some sense and some decency. He didn't want everything, but this is a prodigal son that come back and want more. He spent all $5 and he want more. That's what happened. That is what is happening. So it's a very bad situation that we are in to say that Nevis is thing. I mean, they're doing a road cross by Pun Hill. I mean, they grade off and dig up and they do a section. It's weeks now, the other half ain't do. Yeah. When you have to drive, I mean, I see vehicles coming on the good side of the road because it's half the good side. Coming on half of the good side.
I'm guilty.
Almost hitting me, who's driving on the left. And that is a phase project. And I don't know which phase that is, if phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and when they're going to finish it. These are the foolishness that they do. And this is wastage.
I agree.
I mean, it's just a mess.
Thank you, caller.
Anyway, I'll listen off here.
Thank you, caller. I did that.
You did it too?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You know,
I decided I'm not moving. It's here I belong. But then when I see another man coming, I got to move on. 'Cause everybody want to get a piece of this smooth road.
there's another call coming in here. Let's take this call. Good afternoon, you're on target.
Yes, good afternoon to the general public,
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you guys in the studio.
Good afternoon.
You see, we said it, we back on board said the fella smart. You see how smart he be now? He got vasty and he big chairs. And then boy them they use the big chair.
That's right.
As a missile and shot him down out the sky. See the flat ground. He don't start cuss yet. He got more cussing to do. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, nobody puts it like Kivo.
So
you got another call. Wait there, hold on. Good afternoon, you're on target.
Yeah, good afternoon to you fellas, man.
Good afternoon, sir.
I personally feel, man, it's rapidly approaching where Mark should think about retiring, really. The common factor now through all these years has become him. You know, Nevis needs new managers of their money. You know, he could have taken another path instead of destroying team unity too. He could have done that. Now the old people say it's not the amount of money you get, it's how you manage it, what you do with the money. You know what I'm saying? It's obviously pointing that these guys have mismanaged that money. 66 million each year for 7 years. Now somebody correct me if I'm wrong. That's 462 million in 7 years. But the guy is just really asking for more and more. And when he was in there with Team Unity, he got it. Man, it's the most money ever came over to Nevis. We all know that. But where the money gone? Where is the money? We can't really see. And you guys just got to keep pointing out the failures, all the projects that stalled out and it's not going forward. And a quick question to you, Daly. The Destiny project, right? Even though when he first started talking about it, he didn't really want to say it's going to be done through the CPI program. But let me ask you like this: if he's going to run that Destiny through CPI, right? Don't you think that the money that the Destiny people are offering to the Nevis residents, don't you think
Hello?
I mean, the federal yeah, hello?
Yeah, we lost you for a moment.
What I got to do, the Destiny, right? He didn't want to set up his CPI. Jansen mentioned it, right? Isn't when any project come, whether it's on Sinkis or Nevis, right, and CPI, isn't the money supposed to be shared between both islands? So what I'm asking you is the offer that they want to give, $100 each citizens on Nevis, shouldn't the citizens of Sinkis be getting an offer for that money too?
When you see Brantley, ask him that question. I don't know. Thank you, caller.
Based on
All right.
Brantley's argument, they should.
Yeah, we were talking about the. Oh, here comes another call.
Financial situation.
Oh, the call dropped out.
Sorry, Kel. You know, we're talking about the caller mentioned all that money, and you know, the people of Nevis need to appreciate the fact that when we were in government, we had a financial crisis. Here's a man who was swimming in money, and people are saying they don't see any money, and we were in a financial crisis.
Good afternoon, Todd.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I hear
you. You need to.
I hear you are using a word there, right? Say that to spend more than what you make. What do that? No people don't that, no? You better get the money from the barry, they beg it.
Borrow.
Because if I working to $10, right? I can't spend 40.
Well, that's what's happening now. You can borrow.
Yeah, well, I was listening last week, right? And I hear you were saying something about the prostate cancer. We were doing Nevis and people had to pay for it when they call you.
Mm-hmm.
They do it done about 2 years ago and it was free.
Really?
So I think that Nevis really running.
Because one part free and the next part the money. They call me and they tell me, they said they're going to give them my number, my phone number. They call us and tell us where we are from, where we are. You understand? So when me hear you use the word last week, that people have to pay for these things up Nevis. I said, no, so this is a rip-off, man.
All right.
This country ain't running right at all. All right.
All right, thank you, sir. Yeah, so we are discussing the issue with the financing, the fiscal cliff here on Nevis. And I just want to pause. Good afternoon, Target.
Secretary, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes,
Good
my
afternoon,
brother.
Hensley.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to all of
Happy
you.
Easter.
Dr. help me out this confusion here. You say that Premier Brantley, Black and Boss, you know, going to defile the bank.
Right.
So that means the bank, that is on good creditor.
Yeah.
But you still come back and tell me that if you want a loan, the bank not lending somebody to stand for you.
Because he ain't got nothing else to secure the loans with.
You're confused.
He ain't got nothing else to secure the loans with. You can't walk in a bank and say you want $20 million, you have to secure it. Normally they use land, but we are so mortgaged now with our lands, we have nothing to secure the loans with.
You don't got no cash neither.
We don't got nothing.
So in the end, not good enough?
No, you're crazy. When you got bored and everybody looking for disclosure.
Name can't throw a pot. Name can't pay interest.
Right now, caller, the biggest debtor to the local bank here, Bank of Nevis, is the NIA. The old NIA, the NIA owes Bank of Nevis over $100 million. The Social Security over $100 million. They're severely over leveraged. And so the banks now have this fiduciary responsibility to make sure they don't get overexposed anymore. And so without, of course, not securing the loan. So if you come and say you want $20 million, you say, well, what you got to secure it with? You got land? You got bonds? What you got to secure it with? They don't have anything to secure it with. That is the problem they have.
But Premier Bank in Wednesday night still has another chance. They might do well.
They might do well?
Yeah, and then Carl Brown, Carly, and sweep me up. Tell you that they're going to see them again.
Yeah, but you see, winning an election is one thing, governing is another thing. Of course. All right? And so people like Carl Brown, so they really need to go, pray.
No better, because half pieces of Premier Bank, what Premier Bank they recognize, and half for nothing. Because it's a car is you're following, and then you go on to say, no, you have to win to see them first, and then you can say. You can say, you know what Carl say. Anyway, you have to say anything good about the trip to Africa?
No. We covered that last week in some detail. So we are not touching that this week.
Let me get
I hear that.
Go to Africa and behalf. We give it. Are you hear about it?
You're breaking up really bad. They're not hearing you.
The agriculture minister for Monstrat.
Yeah.
Go to Africa and give a little piece to the health minister they're using. So that the free IT and all kind of different stuff and stuff.
Okay.
So probably you can Google him.
Google him, okay.
Trip to Africa Minister of Monstrat.
I will Google him.
Answering at round table and giving us. You hear what about it?
All right. I will Google him.
All right?
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
I have to go look it up.
Okay?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Good afternoon, on target. Good afternoon, on target. Hello? I gotta go Google him. That is. There's a message on Mike is locked, so your kick is at this.
Yes.
All right, so.
I blame Daly. Yeah.
Anyway, we were going to pursue. We were going to pursue one more thing before we go. I have to put this in. Real quick. I know it's late, and I know this is important though.
Well known that the
I listen to this is a senior minister with a lot of experience.
The contract to do the drilling here on the island of Nevis, and it is anticipated that very shortly that there should be mobilizing here on the island of Nevis. This is something that Naya and to the listeners have taken quite some time. I believe we lost 7 years with unity, and the reality is sometimes you give people the benefit of the doubt. You expect that certain actions will be taken, and then you get to a point where you realize that somebody is trying to hoodwink you and just kicking the can down the road, and you just need to move on.
But Mr. Brand,
yes, Bobby.
You could understand the frustration of the caller and the public, right?
Absolutely,
and the truth is, in terms of information on the geothermal,
yes,
we had information that things were underway on a ship for the drilling of this thing. We had information that it was you were about to turn on the switch, not correct?
Yes, those.
Okay, so that information and so on turned out to be what?
Those information at that time turned out to be inaccurate.
Oh, really? So from 2006 or 2006, because I remember the Honorable Michael Perkins then argued that he was the minister who started it, and so that would have had to been about 2001. So from 2001 until this is 2026, you said 2022. So for 22 years we've been getting bad information?
Well, I will say it this way. Under the CCM government, which I've been a part of, we have sought to, in my mind, take a unified approach toward this project. A unified meaning that we have sought to include the international community. We have sought to make sure that we get involved regional institutions, and we have sought to ensure that all that we try to do to bring other partners on board. I think in the previous dispensation, they sought to go with a private developer. That did not work out. So different governments have taken different approach.
And they have not worked out.
Up to this point, we are now at a point where things are at the end line.
No, I'm not talking about this current way. We're talking about the past attempts, right?
Yeah, we have seen some failures along the way. Absolutely.
So, work with me. I'm just trying to, bring to the fore the understanding and the appreciation of why the caller and others have the frustration and the doubt. And what I'm saying is that, I think part of the problem we have in the society, even with this current thing, when we're doing anything and anybody asks any question, they start to say you're against it. So we never have a decent debate. For instance, when we started out, we used to have this debate and discussion about this geothermal. I asked a question which nobody has answered up to now. How feasible, or is it feasible? Because you can have something, I was just saying to my tech here.
Okay. Now, Spencer Brown was on the hot seat over there, and
it was hot.
Yeah, and he had to be brought to heel by Rebel. Pinned him and said, "Listen, you failed. You failed. You failed to deliver geothermal. You made all these big announcements about throwing the switch in 2017. You spent millions bringing this drill rig here. All lies, all failures. But you realize what the reason I played this clip is because, one, this now represents the third piece of a concerted effort to blame somebody else for whatever Nevis is going through. So now Spencer is on board, blaming the former government, Team Unity government, which Mark Brunty was a part of for 7 years, for failing to deliver geothermal, even though he was the author of the Charleston Accord, which spelled out clearly geothermal was a priority. So you heard from Spencer, you heard from Alexis about the federal government reneging on this agreement to co-sign the loan from Taiwan for the airport. And you heard from Brantley, who said, listen, they use us and kick us to the curb when they finish using us. So this is now the Lord pour me choir. Blame Sinkits. Don't look to us.
No, don't look at yourself.
There's no mirror in the cabinet of Nevis Island government. Because if they had mirrors there, they'll see their reflection, that they are responsible for the affairs of Nevis. When you were telling the premier that you can't go down there and hold fire and water in the same hand, it can't work. You as the premier, give up the leader of the opposition seat, because you cannot be on one hand criticizing the government as leader of the opposition, which carries quite a bit of weight, and then on the other hand begging.
And then,
you remember he said, we must stop this nonsense about we must be contrary to the federal government. That we are with a better understanding.
Adversarial relationship.
We need to stop all that. This is what he said. That development in St. Kitts is development in Nevis. Prosperity in St. Kitts is prosperity in Nevis. We kept telling him, brother, look at the history. If you're not in the stature of Sim Daniel, Ivor Stevens, and U.S. Swanston, going down there and banging your show on the desk at Parliament, you're not going to get nothing. We kept telling him that.
3 days Ivor Stevens spoke in the Parliament.
You have to, you said to us, in every further election, send us to Bastille, send us to Church Street, and we will deliver the goods.
Yes.
The people of Nevis said, yes, we're going to send you. Go and deliver the goods.
And you say, when in the yard.
And he said he in the yard. And he said all kind of things. The point is this.
He failed.
He failed.
He failed. That's it.
And he needs to take responsibility for the failure.
And he never intended to work.
This is the last call for the day. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daly.
Good afternoon, sir.
And good afternoon, Tulu and Mr. Daniel.
Good afternoon.
Call the name again. Call the name again. Mr. Name Bamin.
Swanston, Stevens, and Daniel. Swanston, Stevens, and Daniel.
Mr. Swanston. That man used to talk much about Islam when he come down here in the National Assembly. When you want to hear Mr. Bamin talk is when he get the podium, he was more rougher than Sim Daniel, and I was even in the National Assembly. And I see people used to want to hear. So these youngsters got to know. That man should be recognized over Nevis. When I hear the man about who in charge of Nevis talking about, what he do, what who do, what he do, man, he do go on all I ain't do nothing yet. I ain't got the heart to come down in the National Assembly and go on like how Swan used to go on. You crazy? Swanston? I remember them days. Have a good afternoon, guys. Tulu?
Yes, my brother.
Boy, I don't understand when these young people carry Nevis, you know, they better get real, you know. They better get real. Because we want it around here. All vagabond leaders, we put them where we got to find them.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You take care.
All right.
Really, it's important that we remind the people of the utterances of Mark Brantley now and then. Mark Brantley is the one who told us that the best relationship ever existed between Sinkers and Nevis is under him.
Yes, take this call too. Good afternoon, you're on target.
Yeah, good afternoon again.
Like you don't want me to go home, you know?
But we know that the man is a failure. But we know that he not got nothing to bring. Let me send along the man. Let me send along the man out the plate. This is another afternoon I tell the Nevis people. The man come empty-handed. Nothing in the hand. He travel the whole world. And when he come back with win. Let me send along the man home. Nevis people, let me ask the man to leave. And if he don't want to go, let me make him go. Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, folks, we really at an inflection point as a country.
A dangerous point.
We at an inflection point because we have to decide whether you're going to turn left or turn right or go straight.
Can't go straight.
All right? And we here in this program, what we do is to bring you the evidence of where we are going wrong and where we should be going right. It's for you now to decide which direction you want to go. The same old way, on a fiscal cliff, on an ethical cliff, on a moral cliff, on lies, deception, weakness. I mean, we can choose to go that way too.
Right. I think, Kelly, just one simple thing. Brandley had the government for 7 years, federal government and the local government. And as some of the callers have said, make a ton of money. And we are no better off. So there is no further engagement with him. All of the projects are not viable. And most importantly, when you see a country's credit rating gets low and have to beg people for guarantees and so on, you're in trouble. And he has messed up the opportunity for 7 years. You could have done so much for Nevis. All you're talking about, could have been addressed before.
But,
so it's pointless now.
But he boasted about how things were great for that 7 years. He's the one who said that there's nothing that the federal government did then that did not positively impact the people of Nevis. And so he touted that administration. Great work. And now to hear him say now that things were so bad. You look at the relationship between he and Joe. He's the one who said that the relationship between he and Joe is like, it's so tight that light can't come between he and Dr. Joe. He's the one who said that he and Joe discuss everything. When we make noise and saying that Joe should come over into Nevis, Joe was saying that, me and the Premier of Nevis speak all the time, we discuss everything. So everything was good and chubby. And it's only turned sour when he cannot get what he wants because of his failure. So now he's going to be blaming Joe. He's the one who said to Daly, hey, I'm going to develop this airport. I know that the airport can't pay for himself. And it's not going to happen. Well, how do you expect Joe to give you money to put in an airport when you say the airport can't pay? Who can pay the money? Okay? And so he could cast all the blame that he wants to think. This is part of the CCM from the inception. When we had that CCM clause, the secession clause, it was born out of that. Vance Army failure and the bad governments that put us on a grey list or a blacklist, where Dr. Drew said, listen, Dr. Douglas said, the federal government has to take over this offshore business and make some regulations because of what Nevis did. And they called for secession. So whenever they mess up, who they blame? Sinkits. And when things going smoothly, they give the credit to Sinkits the same way.
All right, folks, let me remind you of two things coming up Monday, Easter fishing tournament over there at San Crab Hole, Newcastle. And of course, on the town hall meeting, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at the Butlers Community Center. The NRP executive will be there, the NRP stalwarts will be there. Make sure you make your way to Butlers for a very important meeting on destiny and every other thing that are affecting this country. All right, so be good, be safe. And if you can't be safe, of course, drink some rum.
No.
So we're going to see you next week, Saturday, God's willing. Thank you for staying the course. It's 25 minutes to 4. We're normally out of here a little earlier, but we had so much to talk about today. And so we thank you for your patience. Thank you for staying the course. We'll see you next week, Saturday, same time, same station.
One thing, we want we land. We want we say. Everybody to that we go and hold on to that.